Good evening, it's Tricia Robinson. I want to give you an update on some Danbury education dollars that I learned over the last couple days. And I also want to share with you something I learned really about kids and about myself when I volunteered with the kindergarten students earlier today. So first things first. Earlier in the week, I talked to you about Erica Haynes was holding an information session at King Street School. So that's not my school, but I decided to pop on in and crash the party a little bit late so I could get some really cool stuff. She has this really good thing, Connecticut School Finance Project. So tons and tons of hours. And what I was concerned about was I had sent last week's Facebook Live to Mayor Boughton, basically asking him, like, what are we going to do? We got to do something. And, you know, his response was, well, we already spend 80%. We already fund 80% compared to other districts. We're like, hi. And so I asked Erica to provide me some information, and she went back to her team and she got her homework. And here's what she found. Today, in similar districts like Danbury, Connecticut, the share of the local education budget paid by city taxpayers in Danbury contributes 70% of the education budget. Now, the low end, comparatively students, is Bristol at 53%. The high end is 84% at Stanford. And so that's one thing I need to share with Mayor Boughton. You know, he thinks he's at the high end at 80%. Well, no, we're actually at 70%, and we're nowhere near the high end. Danbury contributes $8,872 per student in education dollars. And other towns are, you know, between $7,000 and $14,919 in local budgets similar to us. In the neighboring districts, so if you live in Danbury or you live close to Danbury, we are the lowest contribution per student in surrounding us. Bethel's at 79%, New Fairfield's at 84%, Newtown's 86%, Brookfield 93%, Ridgefield is 94%. So Ridgefield pays, through their city taxes, $15,449 per student to educate their children. Danbury taxpayers pay $8,872. Now, the state gives us more money because we are an alliance district, which means we're one of the lowest performing 33 districts in the state, which is kind of good and kind of bad. Like, that means we get more state money and we're held harmless, like they're not supposed to take stuff away. Although this past year they took all resources that paid for all the paras away, which is why I'm volunteering in a kindergarten right now. So basically what this means to me is I've got to share this information with our mayor. Very smart man. I don't think he realizes what real is. He's putting in a certain amount of money, but because our student enrollment has increased, it's just not enough. We're not putting in what we need to educate our Danbury students. And so it was just shocking to me that Bethel pays $12,346 per student compared to Danbury that pays $8,872. So are you getting a better education around Danbury? Maybe. I mean, I love my school. I think it's awesome. But I don't know that everybody is feeling like they're getting the education that their kids deserve because they're not getting the funding. And that leads me to what I learned today when I was in volunteering in kindergarten. So I mentioned before, I'm a PTO president of a local school, and in the fall, the principal asked for help because we lost our paras. The kindergartners lost their ability to understand the alphabet. So it was somewhere in the 80th percentile by the end of October when they tested kids last year, and this year it dropped to somewhere in the 30th percentile. Which basically means year over year, our kindergarten students decrease their understanding to be able to understand the alphabet from 80% down to 30%, which is just like shocking to me. Like, how could it be that bad in 1 year? What is the big change? And the big change was we got rid of all the paras in the kindergarten room. And because we're not a Title I school, we didn't have other funds to pull from to be able to supplement because we got rid of the paras. And our principal's like, we got to do something. We got to change this. And so a couple of us volunteered, and we are in there nearly daily for 25 to 30 minutes a day, pulling small groups out, working with kindergartners to help them understand their letters so that they can read. Because if you get out of kindergarten and you can't read, that's a big problem. And so when I was meeting with I had 3 kids today, and I went to one classroom and all the kids are like, are you taking me? Are you taking me? Mrs. Robinson. And I'm getting all these cute little hugs from these cute kids. They're so sweet. But I have my 3 kids and we pull them in. And today's exercise was they had to read from their books. I get different exercises every time. And so I was sitting with them and, one little girl's like, I can't read. I just can't do this at all. And another child's like, well, I need some help. And the third child's like, I got this figured out. Well, no one got it all figured out. But I feel like not just in helping the kids like learn the alphabet and figure out the words, I'm kind of like a cheerleader. Their self-confidence is like so low. When a child is this far in kindergarten and is struggling to learn how to read, and their classmates get it, it is not easy for them to sit in the classroom. And they just fall behind. And so part of what I'm doing with these kindergartners is give them a high five, like cheering them on, giving them a little bit of encouragement, because who knows what they're getting at home? Maybe their parents aren't able to help them read because maybe the parents don't read. Maybe the parents don't speak English. Like, there's so many things that I don't know what's happening outside the school, but I do know that my job as a volunteer is to go help these kids become better readers. And part of that is helping them understand that they have the ability to learn. They can do this. And so when the state or our city decides to take resources away from these very, very needy, and not a bad, like they're kindergarten, they're 4, 5, and 6 years old. When they take the resources away from our most needy population, other than special ed, they really see a huge, huge impact. And it's very sad for me because I know that as hard as I'm working and as hard as my friend's working, and I picked up another volunteer today, as hard as we're working to help these students, it's just not enough. We need more resources, especially with these younger kids, so that they can be prepared for the next grade and beyond. Because if we don't help them now, by the time they go through the summer, they get to first grade, they are really far behind. And so what I'm going to do, so I did go to the education meeting on Tuesday. My meeting with the State Representative Mike Ferguson got pushed to next week. But I did write a letter today. Connecticut had a hearing today that my friend Rachel went to. So I submitted a letter which basically told the story of these poor kindergartners and how they are missing out and how we are not serving them the way that we need to serve them. So those are a couple things that I've done. I am going to write a letter to Mayor Mark Boughton. I am going to take whatever letters you guys choose to send to me. You can feel free to email them to me, send me a private message, and I'll make sure to take them with me. It has to be more than just me going to our mayor saying we have to change the way we're funding our Danbury schools. I get it. We need to get money from the state. They're kind of working on a solution, a 10-year plan. But by then, most of our kids are graduated, right? I know my kids will be done. But we can make a difference today with our mayor, because they're working towards approving the budget. So this Board of Ed has submitted a budget proposal. The mayor's like, not gonna happen. I'm not gonna give you the $7 million you're asking for. And we need more parents to understand what's happening. I honestly couldn't believe that we are at 70% compared to all of our neighboring towns, and like 79 to 94%. Those communities are choosing to spend more money on education dollars to support their students. And I think Danbury needs to spend more money educating their Danbury students too. So if you're with me on it, please send me a private message, comment below. Let me know if you are in. I'd love to be able to take more letters and represent more kids and more families and more teachers with me when I meet with the mayor. So thank you so much. Have a good night. Take care.